A recent study revealed that black teen girls are 70% more likely to attempt suicide than white girls the same age. Growing up, Hannah excelled in school and competed as a gymnast. But her world came crashing down.
When I was a freshman in high school, I was diagnosed with a chronic illness called POTS. It stands for postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. And essentially, it just causes me to pass out. I was bullied, harassed, and even sexually threatened.
Hannah's illness made her miss 196 classes in 1 year.
I ended up spiraling deeper and deeper into depression, anxiety, and self-harm until one night, I just couldn't handle the pressure anymore.
She passed out again at school, and I went to go pick her up. She could barely walk. It was rough for her. She was just slumped over. She was tired, and she just really wanted to stay by herself, so we helped her upstairs.
I just remember thinking, I didn't want to be a burden to my friends or my family. I didn't want to be the source of everyone's anxiety and pain.
Something in me, I don't know what it was, I just felt this urgency to go upstairs. And I found Hannah trying to take her life. It was a night I'm never gonna forget, but it was also a night that basically changed our entire lives.
Hannah and her mother, Robin, join us now from Georgia. Robin, you discovered your daughter attempting suicide. Can you talk to us about that night?
Well, I would like to say that I was a hero and I just knew my daughter was struggling and I went in there and I saved her life, but it was nothing like that. I was a mom who was just annoyed that she couldn't stay in school because of her chronic illness. I was tired, I was frustrated. She had all the classic symptoms, like looking back on it now.
Right.
But I didn't know the symptoms, right? But that night, I was just exhausted. I remember specifically, I was about to go to bed, and there was a something that said, go check on Hannah. I went upstairs, and I opened the door, and I will never forget the look on her face. And she had these pills in her mouth, these pills in her hands. I ran to her. I swooped them out of her mouth. I kind of choked her a little bit to get them out of her mouth. And I held her and I was crying and she was crying. I'm like, Hannah, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And all she kept on saying was, I don't know. And I'm like, can you just talk to me? It was hard.
I'm never going to be able to forget just the look in her eyes. I never want to cause her that much pain ever again. But I didn't know how to reach out for help. I didn't want to be a burden.
And Hannah, you said that some feelings of self-hatred played a part in this.
I grew up in a primarily white area. Not only that, but my dad was very abusive to my mom, to my brother and I. Essentially, my dad groomed my brother and I, and even my mom, to hate everything about ourselves, from the color and the darkness of my skin to the kinkiness of my hair. It was awful.
Got it. Got it.
Wow.
That's a lot to have to manage.
Yeah.
So did you eventually find help?
Yes, definitely. After the incident, I started going to therapy, and my family soon realized that they needed help too.
So I wanted to know how difficult it was for you to find a therapist that was a good fit for Hannah and for the family.
We went through a lot of them because the cultural competency was lacking in a lot of them. There was just this big misconnection. It's like finding a unicorn, honestly. We found our unicorn. She was a Black female therapist. She was able to help us.
That is so important that you're sharing that, because I think people, when they don't get that connection, they just give up and they say it doesn't work. But you need to be persistent.
I'm so glad that you found that cultural fit, though, because that's something that me and a lot of my peers struggle with and have struggled with when trying to find therapists.
Yeah. Robin, we really appreciate your honesty. And what would you want other parents to know?
The main thing that I would tell other parents, it's gonna sting, but egos aside, guys, It's not about us. Your kid may be struggling with a mental illness because of you or not because of you. It doesn't matter. Get them the help first, and then figure everything else out afterwards. Like if your kid has a broken pinky or a broken arm, you're going to take that kid to the doctor immediately so they can set it and they can take care of it. You're not going to wait and think, oh, gee, it's all my fault. Poor me. You know, you're going to make it about the kid.
Now having the information that you have, what would you say some of those signs were that you saw in Hannah?
One of the main things was just completely disconnecting from the family. You know, she wouldn't smile. She looked like she was kind of numb on the outside. It's just like things that would make her laugh, things that would make her even smile, didn't. She stopped eating. I didn't realize that she was struggling. I wish I would have known the signs. I would have been like, let me keep an eye out. That just wasn't even on our radar.
You talking about that will help other parents, you know?
Yeah.
Hannah, what would you say to other young women who can relate to you?
I would tell them that your life is so much bigger than just you. That night, it just made me realize how important I was to not only my mom, but my brother, my friends. It made me realize how much reach my one little life has. And your life has a really big reach too. So please just get help. Your life is important.
There you go.
There you go. Well, Hannah, I want you to know you are such a beautiful young woman. I want you to know that you are gorgeous. So I want you to keep that with you. Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
So thank you, Hannah and Robin. Thank you so much for
Thanks for sharing your story.
your story with us.
you.
Thank
And keep
you.
doing what you're doing.
Woo. Ciao.